Hey, hello,
Yeah.
and welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, where we talk about collision repair and PDR and everything in between. I'm Stefan Eschi. That's Nick Treece, and tonight's show is brought to you by Black Magic PDR Tips. How you doing, Nick?
What's going on? Yeah,
Not
doing
too
pretty
bad.
good.
That's
Yeah.
good. I hear you've been busy.
Yep. Been busy fighting the rain today. Kind of inclement weather. A little cool out. That's not cool. 50 degrees. Not too bad.
That's
But
cool.
you know,
50's
we
cold.
still out here getting it done though.
Oh
What's up?
yeah.
What's up,
Gotta
Michael?
no choices, right? You're the business owner. You got to
Yep.
go out and do it. You can't call
Right.
out.
Right. That's what I was just saying. There's nobody to call and call into.
Yeah, for sure. For
So,
sure.
yeah.
I got my new Dent Vision shirt.
I seen that. Yeah. That's
I was really
sweet.
excited when Nick put out his dentvisiontools.com. It was so I went right on there, made an order right away, and
Right.
my shock blocker and my shirt and
Mhm.
everything. So
We
yeah.
yeah, but don't skip over. We have a merch store too. So if you guys hadn't stepped in there and got some of our merch, head over into there to Smash Masters and get some because we need
Yeah,
more people out there wearing that stuff.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
really
Especially
good.
those of you that are headed to MTE
What's up,
this coming
Alex?
year. Can't wait
Mhm,
for that. Hey, Alex, we missed you too.
for sure.
Um, Yeah. You know what? So before we get into the show,
Mhm.
I did tease in the promo for the podcast that there's a new giveaway coming up.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so Alex, if you don't know, is our representative from MoClamp, and he would like to do a giveaway with us for the next month of the mini tack and pull plate. I've got a picture of it right here, which I used to have
Mhm.
queued up here to show you guys. Here we go. So one of these sets, it's a small pull tool that fits right over the pull plate.
Mhm.
This can be used with glue. So PDR
Right.
guys, don't count yourselves out here. I mean, this can be a glue tool, but body techs know all about tack and pull plates. So
Right. I've used it for glue. I know you have a bunch of times. It works. It really does, especially if you have to get in between a panel and close the hatch or the door, whatever you're doing. That works
and
great for that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So yeah,
Really
it's a cool little tool. It's the new version because
advantage.
it's the mini version.
Hmm.
And yeah, we're excited to give one away. So the month of November, we will be doing a mini tack and pull giveaway. So make sure to hit up our Facebook and Instagram and enter that giveaway. The post is not out yet. Don't go looking for it right now. Give me a minute. I'll get to it. And
Yeah.
we'll put that out. When you need
Right.
a little Mo movement. I love it, Hudson.
Right. Right. That's exactly it right there. Yeah.
That's
What's up,
great.
Cass?
Yes. So we got a great show for you guys tonight.
Hmm.
Um, super excited. If you come across Dent Proof on Instagram, some pretty cool videos Thad's doing out there. So I thought I'd bring them in. Unless you got anything else, Nick.
No, I don't. Let's get him in here and get some stuff talked about. Let's get it going.
All right. Please
That
welcome
is true.
Thad to the stage.
Hey
What's up,
guys,
Dad? How you doing?
thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to have you in here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, Alex. A little Mo movement.
That little Mo
Yeah.
movement. Yeah, I think that's going to be the new Mo Clamp motto. That's great. So Thad, for those that don't know who you are, give us a quick rundown on.
So my name's Thad. I'm a Thad Junior. Actually, my dad is Thad Senior. He has Dent Pro of Northern California, and yeah, I'm part of a big family of dent guys. There's my dad, his
Mhm.
3 brothers. I have 2 cousins. I have another uncle on my mom's side, and we used to have another uncle on her side that all did paintless dent repair. So we got a big family. It's the family business.
Okay, cool. Do you know when your dad started the paintless dent repair business?
Yeah, so our family's from San Jose,
Mhm.
California, And he used to manage a dealer called Stevens Creek Honda in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
And he had a dent wizard guy that used to come around there and fix stuff for him.
Mhm.
And later it became a couple of Dent Pro guys. They did a little bit better work. And him and my mom were wanting to get out of the Bay Area and move up to Oregon. And he's trying to rack his brain thinking about, what could I do? What can I go start my own business doing? And he wound up talking to one of the Dent Pro guys. And he had mentioned that one of the Southern Oregon Dent Pro guys might want to sell their franchise. And he went and talked to him. Turns out he didn't want to actually sell it, but the Northern California one was for sale. So he bought that, moved our family up here. I was about 8 years old. And so, I remember being a kid and just being around paintless dent repair all the time. He'd pick me up from school. I'd go to work with him. And, I remember all the old tools that they had. And, back then we have light boards now, but he would have a 3-inch PVC pipe with a black line on it. And that would be his light source, and I'd be 8 years old, standing, talking to him. He'd be like, "Get out of my light," And so, I just remember seeing all the progress in the tools and stuff, even before I ever got into it, just watching him do it. And, the progress was not a lot back then. There's been a lot more progress in the last 10 or 15 years than there was the previous 30. So anyways, we move up here. He starts doing that, does really well. So, I'm growing up around it. Shortly after he gets into it, his 3 brothers get into it. So they've all been doing it forever,
Oh, wow.
They're down in the Bay Area and surrounding areas now. But to me, I always looked at it like it was just a family business. I didn't understand what a good job or a career it was. I don't think it was until I was older I realized the sort of barrier to entry and how hard it is to become a PDR guy. But to me, it was just sort of, when I got into my late teens and early 20s, I got into doing drugs and being a knucklehead and, living that lifestyle. And
I think a lot of us
I got into some
relate.
Yeah, I'm sure. I got into using hard drugs, heroin and stuff like that. And I had an ex-girlfriend at the time that overdosed and almost died. And I went to jail. And this was a serious 2x4 between the eyes moment. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Went to jail. I didn't know if she was dead or alive. It was a whole thing. And, I had to get my stuff together real quick, and luckily I had a great family. They took me in and helped me get clean. And my dad gave me a job just probably 4 weeks after that happened. And, I was still young. I was 21 years old. My frontal lobe is still not developed. I'm still kind of a knucklehead, but it gave me some direction, and it took me, it was still the family business. It was still kind of just a paycheck. It took me getting a little bit older, getting married, before you think, okay, this is a career. I need to really focus on this and take it serious,
Put some effort into it.
Yeah. And, I think when you do that, when you find whatever it is in your life, something, and you really try to focus on it and be good at it and kind of throw yourself into it, it changes other aspects of your life too, right? It makes everything better. It makes you a better person, and it made me a better husband, a better dad. And, I think that it's important to have something like that in your life that you really strive to be good at,
Right.
So, I worked with him for several years, and
so when you're 21 and you said you're starting with them, is that your first moment of really learning PDR, or were you kind of messing around with it as you were growing up?
No, like I said, I remember growing up around it, watching him do it. But I don't think I ever really put my hands on any tools or anything like that,
Okay.
That was really my first taste of it,
Okay.
And prior to that, I had odd jobs doing whatever, but this was the first time that I had something where I need to kind of focus on this. And, move in a good direction and not a bad direction. You know what I mean?
A healthy thing to hyper focus on.
A healthy thing to exactly. That's what I needed at 21 years old.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, and it still, you know, it took me. I think when you're a young man, 21 years old, you think you're an adult, but you're not an adult. You know.
Oh yeah.
And you know, maybe into my late 20s, I think is when I started to take it seriously. You know, trying to focus on it and be a good tech and not just get a paycheck, you know?
Okay. So before that, were you pretty much doing like?
I was a route guy. So I had like, you know, some pot lots, some used car lots. I would do, you know,
wholesale.
And as I got better, you know, you'd start to step up the type of work that you were doing. But yeah, I think, you know, it was several years before I started really. And then again, you know, once YouTube and social media come around, that was just such a game changer, you know.
Sure.
Watching, my dad came from the era of, you know, there was guys that would come on lots and they would put up a huge tent and pull cars inside, and they'd have, you know, things that would come down. You can't see inside there. It's completely private.
Right.
They don't want, it's like a trade secret thing, right? I mean,
right.
They're not going to tell you what they're doing. They don't want you watching what they're doing. And then YouTube came around and it was a total 180. It was all of a sudden people are uploading videos on how to do stuff. And I remember me and my dad having the conversation, you know, I don't know if this is good for the industry, right? That everybody just knows all this stuff. And now we got to a point where that's just, you know, I post videos on how to do stuff, you know, it's just, and now I see it as, you know, I think what's good for some of us is good for all of us, right? I think it's better to push us all in the right direction rather than, you know, if everything's trade secrets, how do we grow? You know, how do we get better unless we share with each other? You know, I meet dead guys and I want to learn and I want to share. And, you know, I think that's important for us.
Pushes boundaries.
For sure. 100%. And there's enough cars out there for all. There's enough dents out there for all of us. Right. We're not oversaturated, at least 100%. Not yet. So
I mean, you know, my dad is of that generation too, where I think guys looked at other guys as it was, you know, dog eat dog, you know, it was a lot of competition. And now it's not like that. You know, I think there's a lot more camaraderie and, you know, like you said, there's tons of cars out there. The cream rises to the top. If you do a good job and you treat people good, you're going to make a living out of it.
And iron sharpens iron. We can help each other.
It does. I mean, that's why AutoZone and O'Reilly's build next to each other. Lowe's and Home Depot. They all do the same thing. I mean, you know, over the long period of time, and that's because competition is good. It's healthy. Keeps you sharp, keeps you boundaries, and all that. You know, keeps you going.
But watching that change happen, you know, if stuff like that would happen, I go, oh no, you know, is this going to put me out of a job? Am I, you know?
Right.
But, you know, it turns out, no, that's not the case. It's good for all of us. It's good for us to share techniques, and it's good for us to talk and communicate. And it just pushes all of us in the right direction instead of, you know, a lot of us work in solitude, right? A lot of us work just by ourselves and we don't get a chance to talk to a lot of guys. So I think it's important, you know, like sharing techniques and ideas and stuff with other PDR guys. It's good.
I agree, and that helps get the word out to what this actually is, because there's a lot of people that do PDR, but there's a lot more people that have no clue what you do.
Right.
And
I mean, when I first started, if you just talk to somebody off the street and ask them if they knew what PDR was, most people would say no. You know, now I think it's the opposite of that. I think that most people do know what it is. Now I think it's more about getting people to understand what type of stuff we can do. You know, you guys come from an auto body background.
Yes, sir.
And I go to a lot of body shops where I'm like, man, I could fix this and nail it. And they're just going to replace the panel. So, you know, I think it's important for insurance companies and retail customers to know, hey, we can do a lot more than you think we can.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I work in a body shop right now, and they don't know what I can PDR. There are things I see getting thrown out where I was like, I could have paintless repaired that, and you replaced it and blended the panels around it. And okay, you know. But yeah, it is good to educate the world about
Yeah.
what we can do. And also, like you said, just that we are a thing, you know,
But it takes time to turn a ship around. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Right. It absolutely does. And, you know, I mean, body shops, they're full of cars most of the time with non-drives and things. If you got small door dings and things that people can take care of, it's a much better service
Yeah.
for us to do that stuff than it is to go and get body shops to do that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I
There's a lot of body shops that I work at where I've had body guys, and you know, it's the first time I'm in there. They're giving me the stink eye, you know, looking at me sideways, and you know, they think I'm there to take dinner off their plate, you know. And once I get to know them and they see the work that I do and they realize I'm a nice guy, you know what? I used to not be able to like you, but you know, you seem like a good guy and you do good work, you know. And I always tell them, I'm not here to take work away from you. You know, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I'm here, you know, if you guys have stuff on a panel you don't want to blend onto, something happens after you painted, you call me, you know, that's all I want.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I got Andy Patrick and James Ricci having a little competition in the comment section right now. But you know, anything for a laugh. That's good. Megan, how are insurance companies treating you guys pay wise for PDR? On the body side, it's getting worse trying to get paid fair. I mean, for my side, in general, the insurance companies that I've worked with know that my prices are less than what the body shop would be charging. So I haven't had any issues personally.
Kind of depends on where you are too, you know, location. We're in Northern California. We have the highest door rates in the whole country. So, you know, a lot of times we'll have a hailstorm happen up here and there's guys that'll be working back east on the hail trail and they'll drop their tools and come work over here because they can make more money, you know?
Right.
You know, we got shops that have almost $150 an hour door rates.
Right.
As far as hail and me doing insurance personally, I mean, they tend to treat me fair. I don't really have no huge pushback, but then again, I'm not trying to pile on a lot of like extra, you know, this and that either. So I don't know. For me, it hasn't been an issue.
What I would say is from what I've heard from other PD, so they're very well established PDR companies that are, you know, they really work the estimate to get maximize the profit out of each individual dent. They might get pushback here and there, you know, and what they have to do is just what the body shops have to do. They have to educate the insurance adjuster and what it is they need to get the repair done right and why they're charging what they're charging. And when you're using estimating software like Mobile Tech RX, and you can point it out, it's this much because of this, it's this much because of this, and it's broken down, they pay in general.
It is nice to have something like Mobile Techs that's just an industry standard, and you can point to it and say, hey, look, this is what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Back in the day, we used to have a little matrix that was on a piece of paper, and you know, it leaves a lot more wiggle room and area to fight with the insurance company on, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. Like, and this, what David says here is like per most of the body shops, he prefers the harder hit stuff. So they're fine with PDR guys coming in and doing stuff that they would normally mud.
Yep.
And like Megan said, a lot of times this smaller stuff, insurance companies aren't really wanting to pay you anything for that. But if you can go in and do it in the PDR method, then, for whatever reason, they're a lot more lenient on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
In my area, from what I've seen.
Yep. I think there's also just in general, insurance companies don't warranty these repairs no matter what, but they are happy that a paintless dent repair, you know, they're not going to have to worry about the repair failing at all and hearing from that customer again, because we all know paintless dent repairs the higher quality way to fix this stuff. So not that everything can be PDR'd. We still need body shops, you know, there's that isn't going to go away anytime soon.
I suspect that in the next 5 years, I think that insurance companies are going to make a shift in that direction where you're going to see more probably direct repair PDR shops, really good guys that can make something look awesome. You know, some stuff that may have been geared towards a body shop. You might see PDR guys doing. I just think it's the industry is going more towards big hit stuff like that. If the paint's not cracked, it's not stretched, and you can keep the factory paint, and it still might be cheaper than replacing a panel or paying a guy to mud it or whatever. I think there's going to be a little bit of a shift towards that in the future.
For sure.
Yeah. And it's really stems, like you said, social media. It's It's challenged everybody, and everybody's like, I see this, I want to do that. I want to get to this good. I want to get to this level. And we're all really rising as one by doing that. And that's a cool thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are times, I mean, some stuff you just really shouldn't be doing, and that's when body shops come through. Yeah. But as long, like you said, as long as it's within the realm and reason, then it's good to go. And a lot of times you can get that done and faster than it would be at a body shop anyways, and you just in and out. It's good.
Right. Yeah, that's a conversation me and my dad have had recently about, having discussions with people about price, and, somebody that's might have had work done, 15 years ago, and they hear a new price and they go, oh man, that's so expensive. Well, the stuff that we could do 15, 20, 25 years ago is not the same stuff that we do now. Right. We can do bigger, harder stuff, bigger hits. We can finish a lot cleaner, we just have tools and techniques that just make the whole thing for a better repair,
I agree with that. Glues are a lot stronger. Tools are much
Lateral
better.
tension.
I remember when glue pulling first came out and just using Walmart glue and Worth tabs. I think I still have Worth tabs from, when the glue pulling first came out, and I don't know how those ones I've broken so many tabs and those ones still hold up.
Right. Yeah, I remember. I mean, the Worth companies used to try and sell body shops glue tabs, but back in them days, nobody was buying into that. At the body shop, they were like, "Nah, we're not doing that."
Yep.
It wasn't that long ago. I was saying glue won't do this stuff.
Yeah. I still know guys today that will not glue pull. They won't do it. They refuse to do it. And I look at it like a mechanic that won't use a ratchet or something. It's in my daily repertoire,
Yeah.
Never throw out tools, Andy. You never throw out tools. Okay.
Oh man, I still have tabs from. I can't throw them out. They just sit in a box.
James says, if I have a good relationship with a body shop and they want me to fix something, it seems like they can make it happen with the insurance company. If they don't want me to fix something, it's not happening. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Body shops know how to work
up to them.
Their insurance company.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
They know. Well, if most do. The ones that don't won't be around long.
Yeah. And there's certain shops, I tell them, look, on the stuff that you're going to eat, I'll help you out with. But when it comes to stuff that insurance is paying for, help me out. You know what I mean? You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And those are the ones that I have the best relationship with,
I agree.
There's certain places where they just want, and
it's like everything else. You got to know which place to fire and which place to hire. I mean,
that's right.
Some people's only looking to get after you, but there is places out there that legit want you there as a beneficiary, as an add-on tech to their shop. And you can do a lot of good stuff out there, even if it's push or pull the paints, as we like to call them, doing a little bit of getting it to where you can light mud it and go on. Sure. I mean, they like that. That's not something that's like frowned upon, not everything has to be perfect and glamour. At the end of the day, we're just trying to get some of this stuff fixed. Yep. And with our methods, it's usually a lot faster and we're there. We have the time to do it. Some of these other guys are doing framework, doing, cab swaps, frame swaps, all this stuff, and don't have time to do it.
Yeah, I have a lot of body shops that I go to that have the big Kiko set up, and I think Kiko's been really big on pushing that stuff into the body shops. And there's some guys who get it and they pick it up good. A lot of guys, they get it and they just either can't figure it out, or their time is better spent doing traditional body work and they just don't want to waste the time on glue stuff, and they'll call me in to help with that. But it's one of those things too. In the future, I think most body shops are going to have somebody that's well-versed in glue pulling, and it's another thing that I struggled with when I started seeing all the glue pulling kits at the body shops. I'm like, man, are they going to be taking work away from me? But it's just one of those things that it just is what it is. I think it's just moving in that direction.
Yeah, right. It just depends on what kind of work they have in there too. I mean, not everything can be glue pull repaired. It has to be
pushed
repaired this way. It has to be repaired a totally different way, a totally different method. And that's stuff that I don't want to fool with nowadays anyways, trying to do that, because a PDR method on a panel that's huge stretch had the paint knocked off of it. I don't want to fool with that, trying to push to paint that out, let those guys do it. But stuff that you can with glue and paintless dent repair methods, then that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a mindset change for the body guys.
It is.
They're used to feeling the panels for their highs and lows. First thing you do when you start repairing, take all the paint right off, and just start. So it's a mindset change of, hold on, don't take the paint off, grab the buffer, give it a little buff.
And you guys both having backgrounds in body shop. What was the hardest thing about transitioning to paintless dent repair?
Learning the light. Switching, being able to read the light and using that to find your highs and lows, and then when you look at the damage originally and you put the light on it, it's easy. There's the low, there's the high. Then you make one move. Now it's like this.
Yeah.
So where's the hole? What's going on?
Sometimes it gets harder, right? As you get it closer and closer to being finished, trying to find the lows and the highs. Most people look at it and say, okay, it's done. But if you really train in your eye and you kind of step away and look at it in different light, you go, I still see stuff there, and knowing right where to put, you might have a big shallow area that doesn't really look like a dent, but it's still shallow. And, you got to know right where to put your tool. And, maybe there's a crown up here that doesn't quite look like a crown. And, when you look at it, it's tough.
When you're a body guy, chances are you're probably not going to have the glue pull Kiko kit. You're going to have maybe one or two tools. Let's say you got like a 36-inch double bend tool. Well, that tool will get you so many places, but it doesn't do everything. Like once you start talking about braces and getting around, and it's one of those things. It's learning how to use the tools you have as accurately and as efficient as possible. And it really just takes time. You can't, there's no book to learn anything from. You just have to time behind the tool.
We live in such a good time because there's so many tools. It's almost redundancies with the amount of PDR tools that we have, And back when I first started, there was, you had
I agree, Andy.
A1 sets, and you were very limited. And, now you have tools that are specialized just for one panel or one type of dent. And it's just so I have so many tools that I might use once every couple of months, but when you use it, you need that tool, And I think that's just going to keep getting better and better. But, you guys just got started recently doing this. And I think that it's a lot easier for a guy to get good quick now than it was 20 years ago. I mean, the time that it took you to go from point A to point B back then versus now, I mean, with the tools and the social media and the YouTube, it's just fast tracked by a lot,
Yeah, I agree. And, like Daniel says, I know a lot of guys, like you were talking about, where back in the days or early on, just kind of being scared to show this stuff. But this is the exact thing that, we're kind of getting across. The body guy can't take anything from a PDR tech, no matter how good they are. The mindset, the skill set is different. It's totally different.
Yep.
And while both parties can benefit from the two methods together, I mean, you can, if you're going to be a paintless dent repair tech, most time you do like what I did. You go out and do your own thing. You're not going to do all this stuff under a shop, and
they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah. And, I get a lot of body shops and car dealers and different places where they're like, you know what, we're going to train a guy and he's going to work for us. And I always say, you know what, I respect where you're coming from. I understand, but you're going to spend a whole bunch of money. You're going to send him to school. You're going to do whatever you have to do. It's going to cost you $40,000, you know?
Mhm.
And once he gets good on your dime and realizes how much money he can make, he's out. You know, he's
Right.
going to go do his own thing. So, you know,
I've seen it
yeah,
100
yeah,
times.
just
Yeah.
exactly. And you know, again, that goes back to, I just think it's important to have good relationships with my body shops. And it's hard, you know, you do
Mhm.
every once in a while, you go in somewhere and you get those old school body guy attitudes that think, you know, you're trying to steal work from them or whatever. But
Right.
I just try to talk to them and explain what I'm here for, what my intentions are. I'm not trying to take work from anybody. I just, you know, want to help out where I can help out, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I think Andy mentioned that earlier. Having a relationship with the body shop, they do stuff for him, he does stuff for them. And at the end of the day, that's where you want to be at, right there. You're not trying to take, or you're not trying to do anything, but right there is where you need to be. And I have a couple body shops here that I'm like that with. I go through, and they call me all the time, and I mean, yeah, they could finish a lot of this stuff traditionally, but I go in there and work it out, help them do a lot better, whether it's pull the paints or whatever they need, especially used panels. I mean,
Yeah.
LKQ or whatever brings these vehicles in, and by the time they get through with shipping, I mean, they got dents, dings, and all this stuff on them, and they're not really going to pay that much to get these out. But I mean, I can go in there and knock them out pretty fast, where these guys got to, sand it, bond up, prime it, do all this other stuff, and it's just not worth it for them to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I
had
do
a
a lot
body
of that
shop
as
today
well.
that had 2 panels from LKQ. You know, they sectioned them, welded them on,
Mhm.
painted it, got down to the, you know, the clear coat, and then, oh man, there's 3 dents on them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we
Right.
got to deliver the car this afternoon. So it's like,
Mhm.
you know, that's a perfect instance to do PDR, you know?
Mhm.
Right.
The panels are already tore off, easy access. You know, bring somebody in that could just knock them out and call it a day.
That's
Yeah.
that's what David said right in here a little bit back. Here. I love GPR, use it as much to rough out. I'm also the most experienced with glue and rods in my shop, so I tend to get called over to fix the uh-ohs on reassembly. That's me. That's me. I constantly I get bugged. Hey, can you look at something?
Right.
Yeah, it's one of the
And it's
hard
good
parts
to
of
have a
life.
guy in a shop like that. It
It
really
is, but
is.
they're not going to stick around.
Yeah.
So
I
if
mean,
they get good at PDR, so that's the thing I'm going to try to say though, is that David probably isn't interested in learning PDR full, or he might be, but he might not be, and
He isn't,
that's
and
fine.
he might or may not be. I don't know, but there's a whole different side to why you wouldn't want to go out on your own that we haven't even
Right.
talked about yet. We're just talking about being the technician. You ain't talked about the business part of it, where you have to market and sell yourself and learn your local area and all that stuff, the time and energy it takes to do that. We haven't even stepped foot in that. And I know most people could care less about that part, because that's the most time consuming and stressful part to me. I
Yep,
mean, I
me
don't know
too.
how you guys feel, but to me it is.
how big of an area, population wise, do you guys respectively live in?
My area is about 35,000 population.
It's a smaller area.
Mhm.
What about you, Stefan?
I don't have any numbers. Connecticut's got a buttload of people, and I serve all of it.
Do you guys have to drive far from where you live to service
45
stuff?
minutes to an hour maximum.
Okay.
Well, my town, like I said, it's 35,000. I do a lot of work in this town, but I can go to the next town over, which is about an hour for me. That's Oxford, Mississippi, Ole Miss
Okay.
football.
Yep.
They're also, without students there, about 35,000. With, they're about 100,000.
So it's a small college town.
It's a small college town, but it's a small town. But when you stuff 100,000 people in there, it kind of gets crazy. I can go there, and I go all the way up to Tennessee line pretty much, and that's you're covering about an hour's distance all the way around in a circle,
Okay.
I would say. So
Yeah, we're kind of in Northern California here. We're kind of an island. We have a Redding, which is our main hub. That's where my shop is, where I'm at right now. And it's 100,000 people, but you know, I can go about 2 hours south of here. Orville's about as far south as I go.
mhm.
Other than that, you know, you got Sacramento 2 hours away up here, and you got the Oregon border 2 hours north over here. So, you know, we're kind of isolated where we're at, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Not the worst thing.
No,
No, not really.
not terrible.
No.
Daniel was
Daniel,
asking.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
Daniel wanted to know what percentage on average are you giving body shops? Do you have an
Well,
average, or do you have like a thought process behind that?
depending, so if they sell the work for me, I give them 20%. And like I said, we have good door rates here. I don't ever have a problem getting paid on insurance stuff. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had a kickback on anything. Hail stuff, 20%. Pretty much, yeah. That's what they're getting.
Okay.
I'm giving 25, and like you
Okay.
said, it depends on who writes it and what it's written for. If it's
Yeah.
a small ding, I give them
Mhm.
my price and I tell them they can mark it up.
Yeah,
But if it's
I'll do that
bigger,
sometimes too.
yeah.
Or like I
uh,
said before, if it's something they're eating, I will give them a cheap price, take
Same
care of
here.
it. If it's a,
Same here.
sometimes they'll say, "Hey, look, I got a customer in here. I want to help you out. They just pay you directly." So my body shops that I have a good relationship with, that's how it is. They know when they can help me out, and I know when I can help them out.
Yeah.
Yep. And David came back in here and said he confirmed he's not interested in going full-time PDR, even if he learns PDR. So the only work he's stealing is the guy who's showing up at his shop. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a whole lot of people. I'm gonna break in here. You got something, Nick?
No, I was just gonna say, y'all are giving 20 and 25%. I'm giving 30%. I need to give myself a raise. Good
Yeah, I
God.
think you do. I
Gotta give
wasn't gonna
myself a
go over
raise.
25. That's for sure.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
that's the
mean,
general markup. It's
yeah,
25% markup.
yeah.
So
I get it, but
I like that 20 number. I'm liking that.
There you go.
All right. So I would like to let everyone know that this episode is sponsored by Black Magic PDR Tips. I have a video for you guys. Here we go.
Ted here with Black Magic PDR Tips, and today we bring to you the whale tail tip. Our whale tail tip is made from a material that we use in the 3D printing process. We made a groove system that helps it fasten to the whale tail tool itself. You could use it on either side of the whale tail tool, and we have it for most whale tail tool variations. This entire repair was in between the brace and the panel itself. So even with such a tight access, each push was a nice clean and accurate push, minimizing risk and saving a lot of time with only using the whale tail. And here is my engineering and production lab. We have many machines getting ready to pump out the tips, and we have many more ideas in the works.
BlackMagicPDR.com. I highly suggest them. I use these things on every job. And if you've got a tool, chances are he's got a tip for it. I mean, whale tails, lucky sevens, things that you just don't find caps for.
Yeah, I have no affiliation with them, but that's a family that could use the help too, and they make good stuff.
Right. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
So basically, this is my way of also letting everyone know we are open to sponsorships. Please reach out. We got packages. We could do 4 or 8 episodes. You want any pricing details, just send us a note and we'll talk.
Yes, sir.
Ted, I figured it was a great way to start out our sponsorship program is to gift Ted some sponsorship. So
Heck yeah.
please go out and buy some tips. You're gonna love them anyway, and they're gonna
they're
last
great.
forever. I mean, that's almost the only bad thing about his marketing is that his tips last too long. I mean, you don't need them that often. Yeah.
Right. And it's not something that's overly expensive. So you can go out there and load up on this stuff and have lots of good things to come from it.
Yeah.
All kinds of good stuff.
Highly suggest. So yeah, I want to get back into your timeline, Thad.
Sure.
So you are working for your father. You 21 or mid 20s. You started taking it seriously.
Yep.
I want to know, so your story. Normally, we ask people how long it took them doing PDR. I will ask you how long it took you doing PDR till you felt comfortable doing it on your own? And I guess we're going to talk about retail here.
Yeah, it's such a tricky question.
It
Yeah,
really
especially for you, because you were in and out of it, kind of.
Yeah, and back then, this is 2006. You didn't have anybody really to compare your work to, only the work that you had done before. So when I first started, I was really bad, and then I got a little bit better. So I thought I was really good, and then I got, you know what I mean? So it really, I think, when you grow, you see other dent guys doing stuff, social media, YouTube comes out, and you have a bigger pool to collect from, right? You can see what other guys are doing. You go, okay, I'm not that good. I need to step it up. And that's been my whole career. Still I see Bryce Kelly and Mike Toledo do stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I suck. You know what I mean? I need to step my game up. But that's good. That's exactly what we need.
Damn it, Bryce.
I know, yeah. So the gap between number 2 and him it's ridiculous, He's so good. But I think that's good. What's that?
I would argue with that. I believe there are some guys that are right on his coattails. I just don't think they do the videos as well.
You know what? You're right. You know what I noticed? A lot of guys that live in like Eastern Bloc countries, where they don't replace panels, they have to repair everything.
Yeah.
It's like a necessity, right? You have to fix this, so you figure out a way. And some of those guys, I'll see a guy and he's got 200 followers or something on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my God, he's fixing this kind of stuff. It's so crazy,
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. I stand corrected.
Yeah,
they're out there.
Yeah, I watch that guy PDR 40 a lot, and he fixes some crazy stuff.
I know,
crazy
isn't it nuts?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
absolutely
but a lot of these countries where they don't replace, we just replace everything here. There are countries where they don't replace stuff. You got to fix it, and those
to do it paintless.
I know, I know.
It's wild.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, but to get your average dent out there, nothing crazy. Just say like a 2-inch dent, like a crease maybe. Tackling that, getting comfortable in those kind of areas. To me, I find it not necessarily the dent, but the location of the dent is more of the challenge.
Oh yeah,
that's right. And that's where the new tools come in. I have so many tools, like I said, that are specific for just getting in one spot. It's made for this one dent, and I use it every 2 or 3 months. But when you have it, you're like, oh, that just made it. So I wouldn't have been able to fix this dent without this tool, And back 10 years ago, I might have just told somebody, no, I can't fix it. Now I think, oh, I've got something for that I could use, and it's gravy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we got Derek asks, what kind of recommendation for basic starter to get into glue and rod pulling?
Can I start?
Yeah.
All right. Training. Pick your training.
I get it. You can train, but there's nothing wrong with getting tools and at least trying it. Like these guys in the body shop, if they want something, they want to try to at least get in the ballpark to get it rolling.
I agree.
If you don't tell them, if you just say training and leave it at that, then they're going to run straight to Amazon. So if we want to support these local guys that build these tools in the U.S. and continue, dent craft.
That's why I got you and Thad in here to add to my comment of training. I was if it was just me up here, I would have said a lot more than just training.
Right.
So
it's hard. I feel like I get a lot of guys at body shop that ask me this exact same question.
Yes.
Every body shop I go to has at least minimum one guy that shows interest in wanting to get into PDR,
Right.
And that's always a question. Do I start training? Do I start tools? And I hate to, like I said before, the barrier to entry with PDR is very high. Even the guys that teach at the schools, you'll have a big class come in there and they'll say, you might be lucky if one of you guys makes a career out of this,
Right.
I was very fortunate that I was able to work with my dad and grow up with him. And it was like having a 20-year training course, right? I had somebody that I could bounce ideas off of. I could call him. We were in the same shop together. I always could, we could spring ideas back and forth, you know.
Mhm.
Most people don't have that. I am very
Right.
fortunate and grateful that I did have that, you know, very lucky. But I really think an apprenticeship is kind of the way to go. If you're
Right.
very self-motivated, going to a school, you know, maybe, but you know, they're expensive. It's, you know, 20, 30, 40 grand that you're going to spend.
Right.
And most of the people that spend that money don't make a living out of it. So,
Right.
you know, I think an apprenticeship is kind of the way to go. If that guy, I don't know who
Right.
asked that. Was that Daniel?
Derek
You
Fisher.
know, if you know somebody that does it, you know, maybe go and say, hey, look, I'll come and mop your floors and help out at the shop. If you maybe give me some pointers, point me in the right direction, kind of help me out with some stuff. But
it might work.
yeah,
You don't know till you ask.
it's hard. I mean, the barrier to entry is high. I've had
It
guys
really is.
ask me to train them. And, you know, the hard thing for me is, like I said, we live in an island. It's a small area here. There's not a lot of dent guys. And I always worry, am I going to train my competition? Am I going to train somebody that could potentially come in and try to undercut my prices? Or, you know, it's hard. You know, you got to weigh your options. And, you know, do I want to help somebody out? Am I going to potentially get something out of this? Or, you know, is it going to cost me in the end? You know, so it's a tough question to ask.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is a tough question, and you know, it's really difficult to tell somebody where to start too, because yeah, you can get training or you can get tools, but you really need to be kind of comfortable with the tools and kind of like get it like a feel of the metal, and at least be introduced to it in some type of way before you're just 100% green and say, train me. And now, you know, this person's never looked into a light, never held a rod, never held a tip, has no clue to do with it. Like, I feel like that's kind of frustrating for trainers, you know, because that part is the longest bridge to gap. So,
so let me expand on my thought real quick and let you get back to what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
That when I said training, what I really meant was kind of an inexpensive online training to start. And the reason why I said training before tools is because usually the first thing they talk about is which tools to pick up in the training. So you can find yourself a training that one is inexpensive or no commitment or is free. Dentslayer.com, their first one is free. Real World PDR, they got a PDR 101 course for 50 or 55 bucks. There's no commitment there. Watch that one. He goes over tools. But then if you want to do in-person training down the road, now you have played with a few tools, you know how to find your tip, you know how to look into a light. I mean, that's what I did with my in-person training. I had already done online training, picked up a few tools, and it made my in-person training go way better because I already knew how to find my tip. You already knew.
Kind of familiar with the stuff. It's a mindset change. All that kind of action is just different. It's something to get used to.
So what tools, now that we've gone through all that, Nick, what tools should they buy first to play with during their online training?
See, that's different too, because it's depending on what type of damage you're going to be doing.
Right.
If you're in a body shop, you're doing body shop style stuff, I would say, I mean, my first tool was the Ultra Dent Tools double bend 36-inch rod.
Yep.
And
interchangeable tip.
And I bought the black handled set of dent craft rods.
That's
those are inexpensive, and they will do work for you, like a lot of work. I still use mine. They're in my go-to kit. So if I had to pick two tools, I would get those, and I would just shop around and look at various different types of tips that you can get on here, like Dent Slayer's tips, Dent Craft tips, stuff to use for Black Magic tips. I mean, just kind of get one or two knockdowns, get one or two, add on. If I was to say, hey, what are we doing as far as hammers, blending hammers and knockdowns? Yeah, those are good. Knockdown or blending hammers, rather. Vaughn hammers, I think they're like 20 bucks.
Big deal. Yeah,
$30.
That's huge. Yeah.
I mean, I have those 8 and 12 ounce. I use those all the time. If you tear one up, drop it, break it, it doesn't matter. You can go get you another one.
If I could add one tool to that list for body shop kind of stuff, my 40 or 48 inch, it's a stout tool, single bend, blunt tip tool. In a body shop, money. I mean, it's long.
Push big stuff out.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, now when I'm talking about is pushing in the body shop, you're cracking the paint on every push.
Sure,
Yeah.
but you're getting
Who
the
cares?
funnel straight. Yeah.
Right. You're just roughing it out,
Yeah.
getting it ready for mud. So that tool, I think I use more than my 36-inch double bend in the body shop.
With newer guys, guys that are asking me about that stuff in body shops that are wanting to get into it, I always say buy a whole set of cheap stuff. And if you like it, because I see so many guys they spend $1,000 on tools and then they just don't use them. They never use them. So buy cheap stuff.
Yeah. If
you like it, if you stick with it, if you're actually training with it, upgrade one piece at a time, that shock blocker you have right there. That's one of my favorite tools that I bought recently. It's so cool. But if you're a new guy starting out, you might not need a shock blocker,
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I said knockdown, not shock blocker.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
but no, this is my favorite. I have them up to 7 of these now.
They're so awesome. Yeah.
That tool, Daniel, that one that Stefan just put up, that Vaughn hammer. I said it was an 8 ounce, I think, but it's a 6 ounce.
I just picked the first one, but they're all the same price.
Yeah, it's a Vaughn style, I guess, hammer, whatever. I mean, that hammer is golden for most things to me. I don't know.
For sure.
Easily priced. I mean, you can buy 2 or 3 of them, break one. If you lose it or leave it at somebody's house, you're not upside down. You're not mad about it. You can get another one pretty quick. Not to say that none of these other hammers are good. I mean, I have long blending hammers and all that stuff. I'm just talking about just getting you started, getting you going.
Starting stuff. Yeah, that's what they asked for. So that's what we're saying. Yeah. No, for sure. All right. So I want to know, you make videos and stuff, which I've been having fun watching your videos.
Thanks, man.
People can find you at Dent Proof with an underscore underneath.
Yeah, Instagram is the only one that it has an underscore. I think Facebook is just Dent Proof. But yeah. So when I was at Dent Pro, which is my dad's company, he's the one that trained me and all that. Several years ago, we started doing before and after stuff. And, I started out just doing before and after pictures, right? And it would just be a photograph. And, sometimes you'd get a dent looking pretty good, but you'd use a little camera magic at the end. And, I started getting a little bit better at taking the before and afters, but it also, as I'm doing it, I'm wanting to get the dents looking better and better and better. And I swear, I tell new dent guys all the time, taking before and after videos is going to make you a better dent guy. I swear by it. And, after doing it for all these years, editing is good. Having good footage is good, but knowing that, you get that really good before video with the light on it, and knowing that there's other dent guys that are going to look at the after video. I mean, you really just put that extra, even if you're spending more time than you thought you were going to on it, or you need to keep the car longer than you thought you were going to, to get that after video that just looks so clean and perfect and all glassed out, just feels so good. Like you killed it. That's the best.
Yeah, it's good. And I know we was talking about this earlier, but I use mine to kind of proof check some of my repair as well.
Totally.
Because you can see stuff in the camera sometimes that you can't really see that well in person. Or I guess it's the angle. It might be the angle or something.
The stereoscopic vision that you have. Your brain is putting 2 images into one, and that can hide stuff. Whereas the single image is going to show everything.
That's it. That's why I think stepping away, because like I said before, there's times where I'll step away and I'll come right back to it. And I still have that tunnel vision focus where I can't really see what I need to see. I go outside, take a quick walk, go do something, come back to it, and it looks different. The dent looks different all of a sudden. And I see what I need to do, and I think that's important to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Is it just me? I get photos from people of dents, and when it's not a tiny little ding, I look at it and go, "Oh, it's so deep and stretched, and it's bad." And then I get there in person, I'm like, "Oh, it's not so bad."
That's good, right? That's better than the
Oh,
opposite. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
oh,
a lot
yeah.
better than the opposite. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
like
that's
all
another
the
thing
time.
that when I first started, when we would do quotes on stuff, I would, you drove out to a person's, if they lived 30 minutes out the way, you drove out to their house to do a quote and they'd say, "No way, Jose." And then you're just out an hour of driving, right?
Mhm.
Now, thank God, I coach people and I say, about 3 feet away from the dent, video, and do about 180-degree turn around the dent. And that'll give me a good idea what it looks like, what panel it's on, how deep it is. And people are pretty good with, unless you get somebody who's way older and they don't have the capabilities,
Mhm.
But man, I remember when we were starting doing that, when people, you had camera phones, it just made life so much easier,
Yeah.
being able to do quotes over the phone. And it's not always great. There are some times where it bites me. And there's other times, like you're saying, where, it'll be something that looks really nasty in the picture.
I agree.
I'll quote high, and then I get out there, it's not that bad,
Mhm.
Right.
But
Yeah, gotta love those because then you priced it right. You're gonna be able to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than the other way around where you're kicking yourself fixing it,
Oh gosh.
Right. It's
I've
hard
never
to
done that.
it's hard to get like pictures on white panels. It's hard to judge those.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
very hard to judge
And
those.
there's times, you just tell somebody, "Hey, look, this picture's not good enough. I'm going to need to see it in person. Can you bring it to me?"
Mhm.
You really have to kind of cover your bases. It's there's so much more to PDR than just fixing a dent. Is knowing how to estimate stuff, knowing how to talk to customers, knowing how, there's just so much to it. And, when somebody comes to me and says, "I want to get into PDR, I want to learn how to do this," what you're talking about before, learning how to push and getting the knockdowns and all the stuff, that is the most important part, right? But there's so much other stuff to it that people just don't think about, all the
Like
back
being
end
a
stuff.
therapist.
Right?
You're right. Yeah. You keep bringing that up, but it's so true. Like people just open up to you while you're fixing their car. It's like, I'm trying to focus on the dent.
Totally.
They do.
It's like the hairstylist for men.
It's wild. I mean, I've had guys sit down in lawn chairs and just bring out beer and be like, "You want a beer?" I'm like, "Man,
Yeah,
I'm
don't
out
give me
here
that.
fixing dents, bro." And then
I get offered beer all the time, like 10 in the morning. You want a beer?
Same here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Right. It's
3 o'clock.
wild.
You want a beer? It's like, yeah, but don't give me that.
Yeah. So like you're talking about that. You have to be comfortable enough to be able to not think about what you're doing while
That's
also
right.
conversating with them.
That's right.
And also being confident that you're going to have a good repair and that you're confident in yourself as well as selling and finishing the job and closing out the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's way more than just a simple,
And you know what? I mean, one of the hardest things, I asked you earlier about what was the hardest things for you. For me, it was knowing what I could fix and how I could make it look, being able to look at a dent and, I remember when I first started, I'd look at a dent and say, "Oh yeah, I can fix that and nail it." And then halfway through, I'm like, "Oh my God, what did I just tell this customer? I'm not going to be able to nail it. It's going to be terrible. I'm going to quit my job,"
Right.
And the more experience you have and the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with that. And, I think that was the hardest learning curve for me, was being able to know what I can fix, how good I can make it look,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like Brandon Schmidt's. I mean, I know he didn't invent it, but under promise, over deliver.
Oh yeah. I live by that mantra.
Right.
Yeah. With everything,
Right. Got to be transparent with people.
It makes it so much easier.
And,
pretty much anything you do is good for them.
Yeah, I never tell anybody 100%, right? If I think I can nail it 100%, I always say 99%, because then when it is 100%, they go, "Man, I can't even tell anything was there," But yeah, under promise, over deliver. That's words to live by.
Body
100%.
shop quality or better. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
Because if you know, body shop quality ain't that
It's
great.
still not 100%. Yeah.
So,
No, it might have a little flicker here or there, but it's okay.
yeah,
It's all good.
Just don't
Yep.
worry about it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Look at it. Don't wipe that wax off till you get home.
Oh my gosh. We had a guy here in town that was he was a dent gypsy. You know about dent gypsies, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he had made his way across the United States from the East Coast, getting arrested, and makes his way to Reading, and he starts going around to Walmart and Costco and telling people that he's Dent Pro Dave and that he works with us. And yeah, same thing. Customer goes in, he fixes their dent, puts like some putty or some wax over it, and tells them, tomorrow when you get home, this is to help the paint cure. Just take this stuff off. And then they get home and the dent's all boogered up and paint's cracked and stuff. And then we would get a nasty call, and we go, hey, sorry, we are not affiliated with this dude.
Right. I've seen there's a video circling around on TikTok. I think that some guys did that to a black car, and I don't think they charged her much for it, but they poked the back end of this door up, and these two guys were just dabbing some wax all over it, and they told her kind of that same thing, and it was just awful. It was terrible. That's crazy.
I've seen too many videos like that.
That's wild.
And they always get the customer, and they're always like, halfway through doing it. How's he looking? And they're like, oh, it looks great. It's all mangled up and everything. It's like, these people have no idea that they're getting had.
Yeah. I had a gal that came to me and asked me, she had a black Dodge Dart, and it was collision. I mean, full on back driver's side panel smashed in. And she asked me if I could fix it. And I said, that needs a whole new rear quarter panel, And so she went to this guy, this dent gypsy, and she shows up, a couple weeks later. And I mean, it looked like somebody had taken a sledgehammer to the backside of the panel and just pounded it out, And she's like, hey, is there anything you think you could do with it now? I'm like, this is too far gone now. I mean, there's nothing to be done before.
Still needs a quarter.
It still needs a quarter, yeah.
That's wild.
Well, good, Nick. Tell that story you got of that guy with the all those dents that he wanted gone, but he found someone else.
All the dents, and he found someone else.
All right, I'll tell it.
Yeah, I don't remember it right offhand.
So somebody called Nick to have him do a bunch of dents. He gave him a price. The guy was like, "Oh, that's too much." Then he calls him back, says, "Oh, I found my buddy took them all out for $50."
Oh yeah. This guy.
I've heard this before.
Except for 3.
I know which one you're talking about now. Yeah, this guy calls and he wants me to go around it. I shoot him a price. I think it was like I quoted him around $650 or $700 to do the whole car. And it wasn't nothing bad. There was just one on the left quarter that was a little tough. It was in the body line.
You were probably being nice to him.
I was being generous. He's a car lot guy. He wanted to get it good looking, and he calls me back and tells me that. And then like Stephen said, he's like, but he didn't get this one out. And he's like, how much will you charge me for this one? And my price was still the same. I was like, well, the exact same as it was before, bro.
What do you think this is?
Yeah.
No.
You had a discount.
Yeah, if you try to do it yourself with the 2x4 and a mallet, or you have somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, it's going to cost more. If I still can fix the dent, if I can salvage it and make it look right, I'm going to have to charge you, 50 or 100% more than I was going to charge you before,
Right.
If you got to clean up somebody else's mess and their ups, and it takes time.
Yeah.
Right. This guy was telling him, from what I can remember, he was saying something about, we can't really do nothing with body lines. That'll have to be fixed at a shop. But I've done this particular dent that he had like hundreds of times already.
Yeah.
But because he went and got these other dents, that didn't mean my price was going to change on it. Like these guys, some of these people got the nerve, man.
And you know what, too? The other thing is, the people who always want to fight with you about price and they want to haggle are always the ones that it's going to come back and bite you in the ass later. The higher I'd say sort of the higher echelon customers, the ones that don't mind, they just say, hey, just fix it. Those are the ones you don't really have to worry about. They trust you. They're going to pay you what you're worth. The ones who come to haggle and they want to go back and forth, those are always the ones that are like, well, and they always come back to bite you in the ass,
Right. I agree. I agree with that.
100%. I learned my lesson with one guy, and from that point on, like if somebody doesn't, if I'm giving them a price and they'll say, oh, well, I didn't really need it perfect or anything. It's like, okay, well, Gene's protractor close. It's like, all right, well, I could do something where it looks good from this angle, but if you step off to the side, it might look a little bit, and I could do that for this price. And if they're still like, oh, how about this? And then I'm like, nope. I just gave you the discounted price.
Right.
If you're not good with that, I get in my car and I'll go.
Yeah.
Like I got other dents to fix.
That's a whole nother part of PDR that people have to learn is how to deal with hagglers. You know what I mean? When I was young and I first got into this, it was so easy to just cave. I'm just like, oh, they don't want to pay for it. I'm not worth it. It was so easy to cave, and it took me so long to get good enough and confident enough in my work to where I'm like, this is what I do. This is what I charge. At the end of the day, I have to put my name on it, and we're a smaller-ish town. I have a reputation, and a lot of times it's not worth taking a cheap job.
No, it's not.
To put bad work out there, right? I'll save the money. I'm not going to go broke over it. I'm not going to get rich over it and not have to put my name out there on some crappy repair,
I agree.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Totally agree.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, sir, it's been an hour.
Is it already? Wow, you weren't kidding, man.
It flies by. It flies by. I mean, we
I'm
try
gonna
and
get in
make
trouble.
it nice.
I'm going to get in trouble if I go home without giving my daughter, Maggie, a shout out. She was very excited that I was going to be on here. She's like, Dad, will you say my name?
Nice.
And my wife, Lindsay, of course.
How old?
She's 10 years old.
Your wife's 10 years? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
You threw your wife in there. So I had to do it.
Yeah, so they're probably watching right now. So
awesome.
they're great.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very awesome.
Thank you guys for having me on. It was nice meeting you guys and talking to you.
We loved having you. Are you coming to MTE?
I think I might. Me and my dad. I think my dad's definitely going. I was kind of on the fence. We went to PDR Expo this year. I think I might go. Yeah. Are you guys both going?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We'll be there.
Awesome.
We'll be there.
Can't wait.
We'll probably see you guys there. You guys should.
Den Slayer said, "Hey Maggie, there you go.
Hey, what's up,
Look
Matt?
at
that." Hey, if you guys want to have, my dad, he's a first generation dent guy. He knows a lot of the history about sort of the beginnings of PDR.
Oh, yeah.
You guys should reach out to him and talk to him. And he loves to talk. Super smart guy.
Awesome.
He'll talk your ear off.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Hey, yeah. Send us over the info to get a hold of him, and we'll keep in touch.
All right. You heard it here first. Future show, Dent Pro.
There you go.
Nice.
All right. All right, sir. Don't go anywhere with that. I'm going to throw you in the back, but then don't go anywhere. We'll say our goodbyes after the show.
All right.
Oops. Sorry. All right.
See you guys.
Have a great week.
Yeah.
Everybody, have a great week. See you next week.
Thanks for coming in.
So crank it up loud.